Saturday Showdown, T1 versus Hanwha Esports.
Let's see what Peter is going to go for here as he's toying with the Braum or the Nautilus. I feel like Braum would be pretty powerful here, but we'll just have to see. This would be the more offensive choice, as Peter right now seems like he has settled on Big Daddy towards the bottom side, and there it is.
When the engage comes in, you are a little bit squishy. You can kind of get caught in the blender a bit and get blown up with the Sivir, but wanting to have a bit more agency. There is a decent amount of setup of this composition, but this Sivir is short range, and I feel like Dr. has to really play this well, because yes, the spell shield is a powerful tool, but if Gen G line up their engage well, you have one spell shield, right? And you are a short range carry. That's not to say that KT doesn't have options. You know, they are going to have this Sivir who in the later stages, if you position well, if you play it well, you have a lot of CC in your team. She's able to free hit, she will do a ton of damage. But I think Gen G's composition makes a lot of sense for them. If they start to get the momentum in this game, they will just be able to punch you in the face when it comes to team fights.
And it's such a difficult ask against Gen G, such juggernauts here in the LCK. See whether they can do it. KT fans, though, in full voice here today. We are, as a disclaimer, on the KT side, so maybe I'm thinking that they're a bit louder than I thought. But starting things off with a flash out from Chovy. KT looking good. Perfect going to start off with a miss, but still does a whole lot of damage. So there we go. It's fine. I feel like it's just, it's the comfort keystone for both Keen and Chovy. As level 2 going to be gained here by Dr. and Peter. Down to the bottom lane comes Cuz. Let's see whether this Xin Zhao can make this dive work. This could be dangerous. Let's see how Gen G are going to handle it. There is the start onto Dura. The Shattering Strike's fantastic, though, as Peter is definitely dead. First blood goes over to Gen G, and Dr. even almost dying to that last turret shot. A 1-for-1, but more money to Gen G. Gwen could be a little bit more tricky to take down. Let's see whether it is going to work here as Peter gets himself the shield. Cuz is the one that starts tanking first. Is perfect. Actually picks up the aggro. Drops it. It's Dr. that picks up another one, but Keen is very healthy underneath this turret and says, you know, you're going to need to bring fire. Scary. Let's have a look at Keen and how he navigates this one. The flash out and the fact that KT just couldn't tank this turret.
Yeah, perfect taking aggro initially, but the damage ramped up so quickly, and he flashed to move the Shroud.
But Dr. I'm going to help Cuz out here as the grubs are being taken. Canyon looking for an opportunity here, as it is going to be the first grub secured by KT, but it looks like they're just going to leave the next two. So that will be an objective counter picked up here for Gen G.
They had like to stay between those worlds and not come out again, but I'm not sure they can.
That's the problematic part. He is going to be waiting underneath this turret. There's the ulti, bounces to the other side, but it's a mini taunt and a very dead Aurora.
More turret plates for Keen and Canyon is not a great outcome of that situation. Dr. will get some plate gold of his own, but really not as much in comparison. There's two grubs and just the Gwen and the Wukong with that Sheen tower taking potential. Cuz trying to move in through the top side.
And looks to be just taking this. Picking the gap there is Peter.
That's a difficult choke to approach from if Dura wants to make something happen.
Well, Peter just not going to be able to help take this Rift Herald, but can they find themselves a fight? That's the question. Good vision is here, but Duro is just going to get exploded, but able to flash himself out. The double knockup comes through as Galio makes his way in. Crescent Guard to try and keep Cuz alive as he flashes away. That's a lot of damage here, but it's mainly onto a clone, as now we're just driving Shelly through Peter, who does manage to buffer a pretty nice dredge line, but meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, the Winds of War devastating KT, and lots of people taking lots of damage, but no one dying except that turret.
That was such a crazy fight for no one to go down in.
Here is now KT might find themselves in an awkward position. Canyon still has that Warrior Trickster available as the teleport brings Chovy in. Justice Punch connects beautifully, but KT have reformed the Phalanx and Keen has to flash away. Cuz is just booking it towards the enemy team. He's on the hunt, wasn't even there. He was just running real fast. Hook gonna connect onto a clone here as Peter putting the pressure onto Canyon as BDD lying in wait, throws down Tibbers but misses.
Gen G now looking for this red buff. They might have found Cuz.
They definitely did. There's the Cyclone. Killer Instinct comes in as Cuz able to cross on over to the red buff. The flash comes forward and Cuz will be taken out. But the max range hook comes in from Peter. Finds the triple knockup as well. Still, Dr. doesn't quite have the damage as Perfect is coming down. And there is the kill. It's unfortunately Peter that locks it down. Then the rest of them as Perfect says, nope, we ain't out of this one yet.
And now a mid lane tier 1 is going to be the reward at the back of that play.
This could swing the gold
turnaround.
completely back.
100%.
Perfect on a great flank angle here at the same time as the rest of Gen G all just grouped up. There's the flash in from Canyon. Finds the Cyclone, but out goes BDD. The Drake still amongst it. Keen getting down there as well. Hasn't quite pressed the Gwen's immune button as Peter just takes a lot of his health bar, but not too much more as there's a Magnus Storm to come in. The heroic entrance comes down as well. It's perfect to lock down the Dragon, but can they stay alive in this fight as Cuz is looking for Keen, and he does manage to take him out. Top Dom still pretty high on the health bar, but it's Peter that's going to be taken out first, followed immediately by Canyon as now Perfect dives into stealth. The flash out there from Ruler, but they are now on the wrong side of the rift, and Gen G in a really awkward position. The Chovy finds the big taunt. This is the Chovy position, but still, he is going down so incredibly low, and not this time, Chovy. This time it's BDD having that last laugh, and KT will crush them. Well, that is exactly what they're going to do, as Peter does find a hook here onto Dura. Let's see whether they do turn, as Canyon and Ruler are sticking on this Baron for quite some time. Keen on a flank angle. There's the Magnus Storm from Dura that brings him in. Ruler with the killer instinct, but he immediately just gets ulted by everyone. Still, the Sivir is going to go down, and Gen G find their mark. Perfect is now in so much trouble as Cuz trying to deal with Keen. The flash out from Perfect is exactly that, though, and he takes down the Gwen. Still, BDD cannot stand up to Chovy, who seems immune to taking damage in that particular matchup, and it's messy. KT stopped the Baron, but that is nowhere near as clean as what we saw from last fight. As okay, instead it's Gen G that starts off the fight. Some needlework, but Peter still pretty healthy. Chovy making his way in. The Winds of War come down. There is Duro with the Magnus Storm on the only one is BDD. Finds the Black Lord. Ruler is executed! And the Between Worlds is gorgeous here for Pip. Perfect as well. Still the three-man taunt. And Chovy just showing that it's real difficult to kill this Galio. But kill him they will as KT look to ace them again. Chovy's still going to try and get out of here, but Perfect should be able to tidy this one up. And KT, they can take themselves Soul Point, and they can crush some turrets if they'd like.
They are starting up the Baron again.
They have so much vision of this area. I mean, KT just have no idea what's going on. Still, they are going to group up, move in. And Keen looking for that flank angle one more time. They dive in. The Magnus Storm's fantastic. As here's the Wombo combo out of Gen G. And the Sivir goes down first. Ruler will soon to follow, though, as Canyon's also dead. They've taken out the Rel at the same time, and the KT War Machine will not be stopped here today. As now Keen Mega Cones to get on over towards Perfect and Peter. The Needleworkers come on through there as there's the interrupt onto Chovy. I don't know whether he's exactly the target that they're looking for as Keen goes golden right in the middle of the fight. The Magnus Storm is onto everyone, and now Ruler has a huge shield as he gets into the back line. They've wiped out BDD. The flash out from Perfect. He's not offering the damage anymore. And KT! Oh, it was looking so good until it wasn't.
After all that, Gen G finally get that Perfect engaged. The AoE comes in, and I think they're just looking to end the game. Perfect, long death timers and his teammates. I think it might not be enough. There's just one minion wave coming in now, but there's another coming in soon. I think they can do it. I think they can end.
Oh God, we'll see whether Perfect can hold this off. But like you say, it's going to be such a difficulty. He's on the broomstick, looking to deal with the minions, does a decent job at that. And there are super creeps as well, but here is another minion wave like you're talking about, and these structures do not last. And out of the jaws of defeat, Gen G say no. You're gonna have to try better than that, KT.
Despite a gold graph that was pretty all over the place, they bounced back, and Keen leading the charge on this Gwen. But what a heartbreaker for KT, because I feel like they did 97% of the work to win this game, and it was that last little bit that cost them in the end. That last team fight where Gen G just found the engage and made it work. And Ziggs is so good at playing into squishies now with how much damage he got in his most recent buff. When you think of how KT's composition wants to play, if you want to close distance, I think Bard actually does a better job of doing that than most other engaged supports, because just charging at this composition seems like a nightmare.
Yep.
Throwing the Tempered Fate on top might actually make a lot more progress than if you just to run it.
It just makes me really sad.
So true.
Yeah, it's just not great. Let's get onto the riff. Game 2. And that he says hi. Hi, Wolf. Get some hi Wolves in chat, please. There he is.
Looking to find their way back into it. Oh, Chovy takes a heavy trade.
Yeah, really nice shove as the Q is going to miss there as well. BDD wanting to get this Q out as the flash to follow Chovy, but needs another one and does not get it. Has both of them. Now with their flashes on cooldown, it's now a time for Cuz and Canyon to get involved. And here is Cuz making his way forward. Chovy pretty susceptible, but Canyon's going to move in as well. Cuz just says, I am ready to chomp.
By the way, BDD doing a great job in the lane so
Whoa!
far.
We are flashing in, says Peter. The water balloon is not going to connect, and so Peter just gonna have to utilize that Eclipse. That was amazing. All right, Weaver's Wall gonna come on over here as Chovy still doesn't have his flash. Peter gonna move in as well. Shield of Jaybreak comes down, finds the Zenith Blade, but the double charm is so good out of Duro. And by charm, I mean Cosmic Binding, of course. I think BDD doesn't have a lot of mana. Here's the magical journey from this bard. Look at that Cosmic Binding.
Okay, nice 잘 뺐고.
Just, okay, that's the response.
Yeah.
Well, both supports making their way back to this mid lane once again. As BDD with full control of the waves. Zenith Blade does bring them in. Seismic Shove pushes the bard back. And right as we're singing his praises, things start to go wrong with the Dawning Shadow, trying to keep him alive, and it will work. As Duro able to fight another day, while Canyon is taking this dragon, and Kane is grabbing plates on the bottom side.
And in fairness, I think if they get triple grubs here, they're pretty happy overall.
Yeah, honestly, Grub's very, very good. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that would be pretty peak. All right, Ghoulie Wall goes down. That's going to block Duro. And cease and desist. And I think Perfect is going to acquiesce. And where have we seen this play before? Yes, it was last game. As Doctom is now just going to fight Kane, and Kane's just going to flash. Of course, Cuz was spotted, I believe, on Vision.
Yep.
And so not going to take any chances, just flashes away. It does give you that little bit more durability as the flash forward into the Solar Flare here. Zenith Blade will connect. Tempered Fate is going to buy Duro a little bit of time, but I don't know whether it's going to save him. As never mind, they get over the wall though, and there it is. Doctom hits him with that water balloon, and down goes Brad. Ruler now also taking a fair bit of damage, and man, that Luden Spike, you weren't kidding, Ox. That's okay. Well, there is still a turret here as the minefield goes down. Canyon is definitely dead, and Doctom will be taken out by the Dawning Shadow.
Yeah, good chain around there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get away from the ult from Ruler, so it's a 1-for-1, but Jungler dead.
All right, another kennel goes down here as Cuz just needed to press out on anyone to try and keep himself healthy, and down he will go. Tempered Fate over the wall, just predicting the flash, but Cuz doesn't press the button.
Unable to get in range of either of them to really get any healing from that Sundered Sky.
And theoretically, great split push with this Yorick, as the wall is going to take BDD out of here. And the Mega Cone, because of course it is a Chemtech Soul again. Okay, Keen in so much trouble. The Zenith Blade says that's a dead Ambassador. Chovy now trying to run his way out, and he will be able to do so with the Phase Rush. Okay, Duro in a whole host of trouble. Mega Inferno. Oh, okay! Oh, what? Okay, well, Doctom, I guess, can just say goodbye to whoever he'd like.
And now looking for this mid tower.
All right, Chovy in the Ghoulie Wall as the Maiden getting involved as well. Hextech Minefield comes on through because just going to ride Shelly into that turret. Will be able to take it down.
Yeah, I mean, they buffed
Okay, well, now he just walks up, takes a turret shot, and maybe the Ziggs isn't even going to hit him as the Bouncing Bomb is going to go wide, but the Zenith Blade is still going to connect. He Mega Inferno Bomb! And that is a strike if ever I've seen one! Barely going to allow them to secure it without a fight here. As the Cosmic Binding is so good there from Duro. Peter taking a lot of damage as he does make his way out with that magical journey. Mega Cones to get back to the rest of the team as well. As Canyon makes his way over the wall as Perfect on a flank angle. Ruler taking so much damage. So this Ziggs is a monster, and oh my goodness, that wasn't even the sweet spot, and Ruler is almost dead, but he's not, and gets the piercing darkness out. The Ziggs is still popping off though as Canyon down so incredibly low, and it is a bloodbath once again in this mid-game as KT take over.
Duro.
Okay, yeah, he is on a magical journey, and he didn't even need to press the button, as there it is, the Mega Cone going to get him out of there. Just bard things, I guess, as KT are on the Otacon. And, yeah.
No, I'm excited to see this. He's going through again.
All right, there we go. Seismic Shove gonna miss. I do need to ask you now, is this your favorite game of the year so far?
I think it might be.
As, okay, well, the public execution onto Perfect here. He's looking to see whether he can keep himself alive, but he can't. As once again, just going to get picked off Cuz with a casual subjugate. Canyon's out of the pit already, looking for a flank angle as they do peel away. And Perfect does spot out Canyon there with that Morning Mist. In goes Peter, actually. Mega Inferno Bomb just misses everything entirely. And Peter does have to try and get out of there, but he's not going to be able to. And look at the sad satchel, just explodes without doing anything, and Peter's life is for naught. Yeah, Kennel goes down, Chovy able to walk around it as Perfect is making his way in. 50% health on the Drake. The KT are looking for the fight. Tempered Fate does absolutely nothing, as there is a Drake secured for Gen G. That is soul point available, but can they keep themselves alive and find the team fight? Mega Inferno Bomb onto 3 is gigantic. Flash out from Canyon Keen, now being that soul front line. And Gen G just holding them at bay, and the catch onto Perfect is too good. And Gen G are able to eviscerate him. Now it's Canyon that makes his way forward. It's ambitious, but it's working. Chovy taking a lot of damage, but dishing out way more. It's a double kill as the Ziggs goes down. And out goes BDD as the last man standing.
Once again, KT in control, but they fumble it in a critical team fight. BDD looking for a pick. The flash in!
Oh my goodness, Chovy just getting on top of him here as BDD really wants to thread the volley. That looked a little bit like Tilt as he goes down, and the ace is completed for Gen G. A bit fiendish as well as BDD, as we can see in the inventory, as in goes Canyon, looks for that backline as they're looking to just execute Doctom, but that's a great satchel still. It's a trade of a buy for a Doctom, and Doctom was so much more important. Ruler is still standing here as Cuz just walking away. Ruler deals with the turret, and Gen G, I think they have just found their window to take over this game completely, as KT are at least going to be able to slink their way over. And so Peter looking for an engage angle. Zenith Blade does bring him in. It's the Bard that actually locks this one down, as there is Canyon finding his way in. Tempered Fate to allow them to reposition. Canyon survives somehow! And Gen G with the Chemtech Soul! And they were now able to march into the enemy base, and once again it is just BDD left alive. We thought that it was a sad one last time around for KT, but that was sad because it looked like there was no hope. And the problem with this one is it looked like there was hope until it was absolutely gone. Peter goes in once again because he needs to try desperately to do something. BDD does the same thing, but the Nexus is still going to reach the same fate. Gen G, a 2-0 over KT. 2-0 is a 2-0, as Chovy looking pretty good after the Galio. And I imagine POM might be a difficult one. I don't know where I'm leaning.
Some ways the composition hit the limit. Doctom doing a lot of damage, but also just struggling really to find...
I didn't notice Chovy doing that much damage.
He was kind of pumping.
He did have those 4 items in the end, didn't he?
He did also hit level 16 very early. Chovy was doing a little bit of Chovying.
Yes. The Chovy the verb is the scariest one.
Yeah.
Chovy that picks it up, extending that lead in the POM. Second place is 700.
You know what?
So he is, 500 in the lead.
You know why I knew it'd be Chovy? Because he did play well across both games, but also, when in doubt, Chovy's a safe vote. And do you know why I know that's a thing?
Because you panicked and did it.
Because that's what I did!
Oh, I knew it. I imagine that chat's probably a little bit sad that Duro didn't get it. I feel like Duro today was making the sexy plays, but I think Chovy was absolutely the most consistent.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Seer for the POM interview translation, joined by Chovy on the side of Gen G, who just secured a 2-0 victory. Congratulations! With you securing the POM, this would be your 12th POM. And Gen G has gotten their second victory of round 3, reaching 20 total wins. So what was the first thought you had after the game ended? To be honest, of course I'm happy that we won, but I feel like after being on the big stage and playing on this big stage, coming back here, it just feels very refreshing, kind of new. And you had about a week of break. Did you enjoy it? I guess we didn't actually have a break or get time to rest. After our last match, we did get a short break. But I think we will really just try to maintain a good condition and just really try to focus on feeling good. And so did you watch LCK? How did you feel about the LCK? You know, we were watching other teams play, and we really focused on watching how other teams trade and just their own styles and how they position. And we really tried to learn and pick up on those patterns. And last year, KT was the one to deny Gen G's streak. And the games today were neck and neck. So for Gen G, KT must be a pretty tricky opponent Is there anything that you like to focus on against them? I don't think we were actually that focused on anything in particular recently. We just wanted to make sure that we play better. So I don't think we're lately focusing too much on like the team differences or those kind of matchups. And KT Roaster wasn't an easy opponent. You lost control in game 1, but with one team fight, you had a huge turnaround win. And Juro even said, "We really won that?" So how did you feel? No, I feel like as long as we were able to minimize our mistake, I think game would have been pretty easy and it would have not have been too difficult, but obviously that's not what happened. I think in that state in game 1 when we were being behind, I think what the turnaround point was probably that Dragon team fight. And it looks like your team fighting just kept on improving throughout the game. So, what did you discuss while playing to improve the state of the game? You know, we knew that if we were just going in front to back, that we would constantly lose. So I think the discussion and the feedback was that we really have to sort of surround them and flank them in a right angle. And in game 2, you had a really good wombo combo, but it was a high difficulty one to pull off. So did the draft go as intended? Yeah, I guess you could say that the difficulty was pretty high, but I think we were able to pull off pretty easily for our team. And personally, we had some mistakes in the early leading phase, so I think if we were able to play it out better and we were more solid throughout the early game, then it would have actually went a lot easier too. And in game 2, Dakdam's Ziggs got super fed. So what did you focus on to pick the Ziggs off? You know, I think we were able to give a lot of pressure with the comp that we had. I think we had really good comp to actually try to get the Ziggs picked. So I think we just really mainly focused on trying to pick him off the entire time. And your next opponent will be Nongshim. How will you prepare? I think we just have to focus on keep on improving and minimizing our mistakes, and we will be in good shape. And that's the end of the interview with Chovy, and back to the space. Thank you.